welcome here to this vlog. This is what I did, and it totally worked. Okay, yeah, that totally didn't work at all. There's no longer any excuse or anything stopping me. It's snowing. So I definitely have a lot of sanding to do because I am racing the sun. Today is painting day. Hopefully things trend in a new direction because we're about to get stuff done, finally.
We are Brett and Jade Evans. We decided to go for our dreams and purchased this wrecked sailboat. We're working hard to restore it and to document the journey with new episodes every week. Subscribe and join us on our greatest expedition yet.
Before Brett and I had a chance to properly celebrate finishing all the repairs on our boat, he got called away on a work trip, leaving me on a mad dash to get everything cleaned up inside and outside the boat in preparation for a very important check from our surveyor. Welcome here, got my necklace, to this vlog. Here's what I've done so far. I've been reinstalling the table mounts. These are extra supports for our floorboards and our table. And they're important because the table is one of the things that if the boat is rocking, heeling back and forth, you're gonna grab onto it for support. So you wanna make sure it's mounted into something sturdy. Up until this point in the project, it's actually been just super tedious, so you guys didn't miss much, I promise. But what I've done so far is I took a bunch of wooden shims and I shoved them in the corners, and then I shoved more in, and I adjusted them, and I measured, and I leveled, and I got it so that all of our sole boards will fit properly. Then I shoved a bunch of epoxy filler in, but as you can tell, I ran out of filler, and so it wasn't quite thick enough, and that's why it looks like this. And now it's completely set up, so I can take all of the shims out, which I've already done, except for like those ones because they're stuck. But I'll get them out. Now I just need to sand this, clean it up a little bit, and then I'll be able to radius it and get ready to glass. But first things first, I obviously need to change into actual work clothes. And then I get sanding.
We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words repeat, cause we're scared of the silence. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires, fires around ourselves. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words repeat, cause we're scared of the silence. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires, fires around ourselves. It's deja vu. Memories come back when I'm with you.
I ended up getting busy with something else, so the fairing compound set up all the way, which meant that I had to sand it down before I could lay the glass. So here's a little hack for you. I used a socket and I wrapped it in sandpaper and used that so that I could sand it out and get that nice fillet. Now, they do sell sanding blocks that are curved, and those would have also been a great option, but I didn't have one. So this is what I did, and it totally worked.
We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words repeat, cause we're scared of the silence.
I'd never used this compound before. It looks like brownies, and I made it like a little bit thicker than a brownie texture, and it didn't behave the same way that the silica fairing compound that we have been using all along did, but it was good enough. And then I went ahead and I glassed over it with some 6-inch tape of 1700 matte. It is cold and it is raining quite a lot, which means that all of the hatches are closed. And I do not like to work with the epoxy with all of the vapors when I can't have a really good ventilated space, because that is not good to inhale for anybody, but especially for women. So we are not gonna glass today. Today I'm going to focus on sanding. I know what you're thinking, Jade, you must be really good at sanding by now. And you're right. I don't really have anything to gauge that by, but I have really come to love the sander. You guys, it took me this morning, I went to four hardware stores before I found any sandpaper for our 6-inch orbital sander. 4. I ended up getting it at Harbor Freight. We'll see how well the Harbor Freight stuff holds up. I got 80 grit. I was looking for 60, but I just took what I could get. And I'm gonna get going on sanding. After using the grinder for so many sessions and making so much dust, I am thrilled to be using a vacuum attachment sander because it is wonderful as far as the dust goes. Sanding went pretty well. I'm happy with how it went, but here's the deal. It is so cold. It is so cold, and I'm not. I bought a beanie this morning. And boots for the rain. Everything isn't perfectly smooth. So I have a couple of paths I can take to move forward. One of them is to take like a fairing compound, something like this. Just kind of do a light coat over anywhere that there's texture and smooth it out that way. But I'd rather not have to do that. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our epoxy paint. What we decided to go with is Aquapon. It's an epoxy bilge paint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix up a small amount of this and I'm gonna paint a small area with it and see if it smooths it out, because epoxy inherently is self-leveling. So I'm curious to see if the paint itself is able to smooth it all out, because that would save me using this stuff. I feel like I have to say this since our channel has been growing. None of this is sponsored, but West System, Aquapon, PPG, if you would like to retroactively sponsor us, I will not argue with a refund for our honest review. I can't give that review yet. I have to use it first. So let's do that.
2 a.m.
So the first thing I need to do before I paint is clean. So I'm just gonna wipe it all down. I poured some water in here. Aw, that looks so nice. But I was having a bit of a think, which is kind of all I do now because Brett's not here and I'm working on the boat by myself. But that's what I was thinking about, is about how Brett's not here and I'm working on the boat by myself. And so what I realized is that when we're working on it together, it's fun, it's an adventure, it's a good time, I don't know. But when I'm working on it all by myself, it feels a lot more like work. So I've been doing different kinds of things to try to make it more fun for myself. Just sort of talking to myself, which I do, I guess, all the time when I talk to you guys. But I have been listening to a ton of audiobooks. I should count, I'll count for you. That's starting to not quite do it for me. I'm just like, I feel like I need something new to do while I work so that it's not so lonely and just drudgery. So for any of you who are out there that do projects by yourself, help me out. What are your tricks? What are the tricks of the trade? How do I keep myself from going insane? I don't know what I would do if I was insane. Hopefully I never get there. If I do, I'll let you know. We'll all find out, I guess. All right, that's pretty clean. I'm just gonna grab a brush to get some of the dust that's stuck in right here. Okay, yeah, that totally didn't work at all. Didn't work. You can still see the texture of anything. You can actually see it worse now. So I went to Ace and I bought some West System 410 Microlight Fairing Filler. I bought the big one. That was really expensive. And we're going to fair the heck out of this bilge and just make all this smooth. So I'm not touching it right now. Right now, it's just barely at a thumbprint, fingerprint consistency, which means that it hasn't set up all the way, so I can put epoxy on top of it. So I'm gonna hurry really quick, and I'm going to mix some fairing filler, and I'm going to fair filler this section so that I don't have to sand it again, because I don't wanna do that. Okay, it's almost set up. It's very nearly set up. but I'm gonna let it set up the rest of the way. I just turned a little heater on to try to speed up the setup. And in the meantime, I'm gonna take this TV down over here, and I think it could end up being quite entertaining. Brett and I aren't really the TV type. We don't really watch TV enough to dedicate this much space to that activity. So I'm gonna take this out, and I'm actually pretty sure that it didn't work. So I just need to get it out of here. But it's really big. A lot of you guys have been worried and like warning us that as soon as we turn it on, the vet fan's gonna blow all the dust out. But we haven't been worried about that because we knew we were just gonna toss it. Oh, that's like really light. Okay, I just got done with our survey. That was our last check. Next time he comes, it's gonna be an actual survey, and that's exciting. He says that we're good to go to move on. He took pictures and gave us the go-ahead, so I can now paint the inside and the outside. There's no longer any excuse or anything stopping me. It started raining, and it's gonna rain tomorrow morning as well, which means I am working inside for the rest of today and tomorrow probably. So I'm going to fare my little heart out. DSLR camera batteries just died, so I'm gonna charge those. I'm filming on my phone right now. Where's my thumb? There's my thumbs up. Oh my gosh. So far in the making of this video, I have started and completed 3 audiobooks: And the Mountains Echoed, Where the Crawdads Sing, and Little Fires Everywhere. I liked them all. Vastly different books from each other, but all super good, and I would recommend any of them. I listened to them on like 2 times speed, so that's why I go through them fast. So I'm starting a new series. Okay, I need to stop dilly-dallying onto the project, onto the work. Because I'm filming on my phone, I'm not gonna film like a time-lapse or anything. I will just give you guys updates every now and again. And then eventually, once those batteries are charged, then we'll do like, this is like the worst vlog ever. It's just a reflection of how things are going. Whatever. I'll give you guys updates. Okay, update. I have finished fairing this bucket and this pocket. You'll notice that I didn't fair the bottom of this one. That's because we used the peel ply, so it's already a really nice smooth texture. But over here we did not, so I had to fair the entire thing. And I'm gonna move on to the other side, practice some more before I move on to the center. The better I get with the putty knife, making it smooth from the get-go, the less I'm going to need to sand. I have been a busy girl the last few days painting the bottom of the boat, and it is painted, pretty much all done. I just need to do a little bit of touch up, but yeah, so I can get geared up to start working on the inside. I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of what's been going on and what needs to happen. We're faired. That's a dingo. Faired, everything's faired. I haven't faired this pocket yet, and everything is looking pretty good. Oh my gosh. He's getting me. Okay, I built up these corners to a 90-degree so that I can, oh my gosh. So that I can go through and I can make them a little bit nicer looking. I've sanded some of the areas, like right here. Ooh, that's feeling real nice. But most of it's not. So I definitely have a lot of sanding to do left. And I'll probably sand it and fair it and sand it and fair it and sand it and fair it until it's like super nice looking, because I want it to look nice. I want to paint it, and I want to be very proud of my work.
This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, down with my own doubts. Be free with me.
It's snowing. Less than 5 days ago, I was in a crop top and shorts painting the bottom of the boat, and now today I don't understand. I'm not ready for this.
I'm a bit sick today. I'm running a fever. So I'm just gonna eat some soup. I'm not like actually sick. It's not like I have a cold. I just run fevers sometimes. And today's one of those days, but it makes me feel like I have a cold. So then I always want chicken noodle soup. So I'm gonna eat some of that, then I'm gonna take some Advil, and then I'm gonna get sanding.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. I can't believe you love me.
It would have made way more sense to be doing this back when I was installing the table mounts, except for the part where I forgot that this piece where all of our water pumps mount existed. But fortunately for us, Brett remembered, and just in time for me to get it all mounted in.
I hope it never ends. It's being more than friends.
I just sprained my pinky shoving a disproportionately large amount of laundry into a laundry stuff bag. So that's how my day's going. But today is painting day. So hopefully things trend in a new direction, because we're about to get stuff done. Finally. It's been a long time coming, and it's taken way too long to get here, and we're here now. Hallelujah. What's gonna happen next is I'm gonna grab the router, and I'm going to route, cut, trim, curve, I don't know the right term. Let me know the right term. I'm gonna router all of these edges, and then I'm gonna clean like a maniac, and then I'm gonna paint. And today, hopefully before the sun sets, this will be one homogeneous, sparkling, white, beautiful bilge, and no one will ever be the wiser of the journey it's gone through.
I can't believe you love me. I just feel so lucky. Still can't believe you love me.
Hey. Whew. Okay. I just finished cleaning everything, wiping it all down with acetone. I'm gonna give it one more final wipe, and then we're gonna paint, because I am racing the sun, and I don't have very good lights in here, so I wanna get it done before it gets dark. And I just gotta mix it all up now, and hopefully it's gonna look good.
Fire that we made just to save us when we try to make up for never letting go. Said the things we promised not to say, then we break up just to start all over, even though we know this is the hard way to better. We can't be heartache together. This is the hard way to better. We can't be heartache together. This is the hard way to better. We can't be heartache together. This is the hard way to better. Promises to deep cuts. Let our fears hold us. Let's go back. Let's start again. Somehow I'll give you my attention. You've got to know that I ain't a person who understands all the clockwork of our romance. You make me feel so alive, always there in my mind. But I just don't know if I'll dance with the lights shaking cause they're playing the best song. I'll be there if you reach out to me. Reach out to me. Reach out to me. I'm a rolling stone tonight, never to be settled. Though I know I can't deny your eyes, I've got this inner battle. I don't know how to act. I ain't a person who understands the commitment of a romance, but somehow I need you close. I'll go.
I love it. It's perfect. It seriously turned out so well, and it's giving me like such a boost of motivation and energy to keep going with this project, because I mean, you guys have seen me. I've been like feeling like I needed a break, but this is the energy I need to keep going. All things considered, I think I did a pretty good dang job. Pretty dang good. I'm happy with it, is what I'm trying to say. There are some areas that I do need to fair again and repaint, but only a few, and nothing too dramatic. For the most part, all my surfaces I think are looking pretty dang good. Project done. Moving on. Yay. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe, notification bell, like, thumbs up. Those are the same thing. I need a nap. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, my friends. Good night. Next week, my friends come to rescue me.
You're so friendly. Hi.
Because it's time to prepare for launch day. This isn't gonna happen the way we're trying to do it. And you guys probably already knew it would end this way, but grinder's out. Oh, now my shoe's stuck. Okay.